Hey, what's going on, Sunday Virgin Gang? Hope you're doing well. I'm doing pretty good today on stuff. I got semi recently in the mail. Is going to be this Galarian Zapdos. This is going to be a CSR from VMAX Climax. One of the best sets released in Sword and Shield, in my personal opinion. Galarian Zapdos happens to be one of my favorite Galarian Pokemon too. Reminds me a whole lot of Kazooie from the Banjo-Kazooie series, one of my favorite games. And I just like the card a whole lot. I'm usually an Articuno person, but Galarian Zapdos just has a special place in my heart right here. Love the card, love that stuff. I went on a run today, okay? I went on a nice little run, was seeing the sights, was taking in the stuff. It's a little bit cold, but it was a beautiful day outside. And the whole time I was thinking about how people actually look at Pokemon cards, people talking about them and the whole thing, right? Because I was thinking about like video ideas and stuff. And something kind of ironic did happen today. That's not why I made this video. And before I go into it, this is not directed at absolutely anybody. You know me, if I wanted to fucking talk about somebody, I'd just say this is about that person. This is genuinely not about anybody, but I have noticed every time this topic comes up, there seems to be this weird consensus of what this actual topic means. We're going to be talking about pumping a little bit. Yes, pumping of things. Now, whether you think people have actually been pumping cards or they haven't been pumping cards or pumping anything, any kind of collectible, any kind of crypto, any kind of thing or whatever like that, it always comes up, especially when people are talking about cards or anything like that in general. And if something happens to go up in price, generally speaking, people do think that that person may have pumped it. I've been guilty of actually thinking that too. And I still do think some people actually pump said cards, and I'll get into that here in a second. But what actually is pumping? I'm going to explain it to everybody real quick because this confusion happens a lot. It doesn't just happen to me. It happens anytime anybody opens up a fucking Pokemon card set and they're genuinely happy about a card for some reason. Like, hey, that card I just showed off right there. Hey, me saying I like Galarian Zapdos, that must mean I'm just pumping the card, right? I'm just pumping the sucker up. No, I genuinely like the card. So what would pumping be? Let me give you an example. So say that I was like on here, right? We'll use me for an example. Say I was just talking all day about like how much I love full art trainers and how much I think you, the person watching this stuff, should pick up some full art trainers. They're a solid investment. They're something that I personally think will go up in price and you should pick them up now before you actually miss out on them. Have I said some things like that before? Absolutely, because I'm afraid that certain people who actually want said cards are going to get priced out of certain things. And it did happen for a little bit with Japanese full art trainers. There was no indication of anything going down. There was no indication of Pokemon doing anything to rectify this stuff. Luckily, they did. People are able to get some amazing full art trainers for some great prices. There's some delicious Bromeo cards you can pick up for literally nothing. I show them off occasionally on Instagram. Sometimes I'll put up IG listings of people, overcharging cards and be like, yeah, you can get that card for like a third of the price here. On eBay, the land of I charge whatever the fuck I want. Now, what would make that different and what would make me doing a pumping thing, right? I did that whole spiel. I did that whole fucking actual speech, right? Okay? Everyone bought trainers, right? Everybody went for them. Everybody was doing that stuff. The second people started buying them and the price went up, I turn around and I open my fucking binder of cards, right? And I'm like, hey, you see these trainers right here? Now, this is something. I'm going to give this to an exclusive fucking subscriber here or something like that. I mean, you guys get the first pick. If you buy these cards, yes, they're worth a little bit more than what they're going for right this second, but they're not worth near as much as they will be worth. You guys should pick these up right. That's pumping, okay? I don't buy multiple copies of cards. I don't buy multiple copies of anything. I usually buy one or two copies to go in a binder, and that's it. That's generally what I do, and I have a collection of several things I've done, the SARs, the alternate arts, the hyper rares, the fucking CSRs. I got all that shit, right? Because I genuinely like them. I typically grab one and I throw it in a binder. And I'm not talking about like, most people understand that. It's like the occasional comment too I get. It's not even me. I see people going to like people like, I don't know, like say like Crystal was opening up a box, right? And she happens to pull a pretty good card from that, like an SAR or something beautiful from the set, right? And someone goes in there like, man, you're pumping this card real hard. Or say, this actually happens a lot more often. Say it's a card people don't generally like as much. Say it's like a full art or something, or like a full art trainer that's not as popular. But I go fucking nuts because I actually like collecting full art trainers. Someone's like, oh, look at this guy pretending this card's good. He's trying to pump it up to pump the value up or something like that. No, motherfucker. I genuinely like the cards. Foreign concept for some people. I like a lot of the cards that I actually pull and I put in my binder. I don't like every single card, but the ones I do pick up are the ones I'm genuinely happy to pull on a fucking video. I don't fake any of my videos. How I'm doing that stuff is how I feel. And that happens a hell of a lot more often than people actually pulling popular cards. That's a whole separate discussion. But There are people that pump stuff, and there are people that pump certain things, and there are people that will tell you to buy something that they so happen to be selling, and they may be overcharging a little bit for it, but they're promising future investment potential, future value, and future things that will come up with this stuff. Is there hypothesis that you can actually put with this stuff? Is there theories that you could say about stuff? Can you discuss Pokemon card value? Absolutely. There's nothing inherently toxic about discussing value. It's the things people do when they're talking about. I just don't think people understand actually what pumping is. Some people like the cards you don't like. Some people like full art. Some people like male full art trainers. Some people like the female full art trainers that you motherfuckers don't like. And that's cool. If the second you see me actually going through my binder and be like, hey, you see this Lily card right here? Yeah, this motherfucker, I'll give you guys a fucking deal. A 10% above what people are selling it. But I'm telling you right now, it's going to be like 40, 50, 60 times the value that it's sitting right now. Like some people were doing over the full art trainer boom fucking happened. And I tried to warn people that motherfuckers were trying to pump that stuff. They actually sold some of those cards. They sold stuff off from their personal collection that they said they'd never part with. But the second the value went up, there you go. And they were the ones promoting that stuff too. I warned motherfuckers about that. It happened. And it's just funny. I just don't think certain people know what pumping means. I've seen it happen in a lot of my friends' videos. I've seen it happen where someone's not pumping at all. They just like the card they were doing. If they have multiple copies of something like that motherfucker that was buying like 10, 20, 30 Altaria CHRs and then listing those motherfuckers up, trying to be like, these are going to go up in insane value. I have 40 of them right here. You should buy 40 of them too. Yeah, that dude was pumping 110%. That's what pumping looks like. Someone being happy that they like cards, or someone showing off a card actually in the beginning of their video. That's not pumping, motherfucker. Sounds like you don't know what pumping is, and I think you should kind of look into that a little bit. I think you should actually get some stuff checked out as well if you can't understand when someone's selling something versus someone liking something. That's all I got. Appreciate it, Virgin. See you later.